Hey, second grade, it is Miss Crawl, and we are back again. So today we're going to be focusing on a very specific thing that we've been talking about. We want to look at it with some words and how to use it correctly with some different types of words that have different endings. So we've been talking about those inflectual endings a lot, right? Adding that ed, that s, es. We talked about how adding ed talks about in the past, right? So bake, if we take the word bake, that's our root word. And if we have that ed at the end, baked, I baked a cake, that happened in the past. That means I did it in the past. Ed, baked. But if I put that ing, that could mean right now, I am baking a cake. Or if you have that s, she bakes a cake. That's happening right now. But that ing also talks about happening right now. So we're going to be talking about ed in the past and ing happening now. But we're going to be talking about two very special cases when we need to do some special extra things to make our spelling right. Lately, we've been practicing just adding s or just adding es or just adding ed. We didn't think about there are some special cases that we need to change some things up. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize myself. And for right now, I don't need you to grab anything. I just want you to have your listening ears and eyes on. So up at the top, it says, look at the word whine. So we have the dog here, and the dog looks like he's whining, currently happening, right? It ends with the letter E. So we see that it has that E, whine, that silent E, right? Whenever we have that silent E at the end, if we want to add ed or ing to that word, we need to drop that E, so get rid of it, and then add ed. So we take whine, get rid of that E. I'm going to draw, crossing it out. Get rid of it, and then add that ed. And that gives us whined. Now, same thing with ing. Whin, drop that E, get rid of it, plus that ing. So whining. So whenever we have that silent E at our words, that's when we do this rule. So whenever we have that silent E, we drop it, add ed, or add ing, depending on if you're talking about the past or talking about the future. So we're going to give this a try. So it says add ed or ing to the words below to make new words. Write the new words on the lines. So we have save, and I want us to add ed. So saved, talking about in the past. So we have our root word saved, and we're adding our ending ed. But what do you know? This is our silent E, right? Ave. So we know that we need to drop that. So minus that E, drop that E, get rid of it, and add ed. I'm going to use my text box. So we have S-A-V-E-D. S-A-V, drop that E, and add ed. All right, so I want you to watch as I do number 2 now. So I have slide. That's our root word, slide. And we're adding ing. So that means right now, she is sliding. He is sliding. So we're talking about currently, right now. So we have S-L-I-D, E, and then ing. Well, slide is our silent E, right? So that means it needs to go. We got to drop it if we want to add ing and talk about right now. So get rid of that E, and let's write it. So if I'm doing sliding, I have S-L-I-D. I dropped that E, so I don't need to write it, and I just add that ing now. Sliding. All right, let's try number 3. So we have our root word drive, and we're adding ing. My mom is driving to the store. Right now, mom is driving. Drive has that silent E. So that means in order to make it in order to make showing us happening right now, we need to drop that E and add that ing. So D-R-I-V, we dropped that E, I-N-G. All right, I want you guys to please go get a piece of paper, something to write with, post-it note, whatever, and then something to write with as well. So if you need to pause me while you grab those two things, please do. All right, so I'm going to challenge you to do number 4. So we have our root word skate, and we're adding ed. So we're going to say skated. I skated to the park. In the past, that ed makes it pass, but how would we spell that? So we see skate has that silent E. So what do? I want you to go ahead and pause me and write skated on your paper. So we have that silent E, so that means we drop it, get rid of it. And if we get rid of it, we spell it S-K-A-T. We drop that E, but we're adding ed. That's all we got to do. All right, let's look at number 5. We have our root word grade, and we're adding ing. Miss Carl is grading papers. Grading. I'm doing it right now. Well, right now I'm doing a video, but that would be an example, right? She is grading. Miss Carl is grading papers. So we have our root word grade. That's a silent E, grade, right? Makes that A long. So we have grade, and we're adding ing. I want you to go ahead again underneath skate or skated or wherever you have room on your paper. I want you to write grading. Go ahead and pause me. So we have that silent E, so we drop it, get rid of it. And that leaves us with G-R-A-D and then ing, grading. Our next rule that we're going to look at, we have another little rule. So again, we're still adding ed or ing, but this is when we don't have a silent E. So when we have a silent E, we drop it and add ed or ing. This is a different rule. So when you add ed or ing to a word that ends with a vowel and then a consonant. Okay, so like the word jog up here. I want to pay attention to up here. So look, jog has a vowel and then a consonant at the end. We have our vowel O and then our consonant G. We double the final consonant and then add ed or ing. So jog, we have vowel, then a consonant. Well, we double that. So we are going to add another G. Then, since we're making it jogging, she is jogging, we would add our ing. So Jogging. Sam is jogging with Mom. When we have a vowel and then a consonant, we double that consonant, so add another one, and then put our ing or ed. So we have step, we see a vowel, then we see a consonant, and that's how the word ends. So we know we need to double, make another one of those consonants, so add another P, and then we're saying stepped in the past, so then we add our ed. And that gets us S-T-E-P-P-E-D. Max stepped in a big hole. Max stepped in a big hole. So let's give this a practice. So number 1 says, Dave is jogged or jogging on a track. Well, we're talking about presently, right now. So we know that's ing. Ooh, but we just kind of talked about this. We started with our root word, jog. But we see that it ends with a vowel and then a consonant. So we double that consonant. And then since we're talking about right now, we just add ing. So we get jogging. Number 2, the bus stopped to let kids pass, or the bus stopping to let kids pass. We would say the bus stopped, past tense, that ed, to let kids pass. Well, we have that root word stop, and stop ends with a vowel, R-O, and then a consonant. So we know to make stopped or stopping, we would need to double that consonant, so another P. And then since we're saying in the past, we add E-D, stopped. Number 3, the frog hopping in the pond or the frog hopped in the pond? Well, past tense, so we know ed, but let's talk about how to make it. So we have our root word hop. We want hopped, past tense. Well, it ends with a vowel and a consonant, that O and that P. So we double that P, double that consonant, and since we're talking about the past, we add ed. All right, I want you guys, I know that you don't have this paper, so I want you to get out your fingers, and we're going to pretend circle our answer. So Zach is clapped his hands. Zach is clapping his hands. Go ahead, pretend circle for me. Which one do you think the answer is? Yeah, he's doing it right now. Zach's clapping. That ing tells us right now. Let's talk about how we were able to write that word, though. We have our root word clap. That root word ends with a vowel and then a consonant. So we double that consonant. And then since we're talking about right now, we add ing, clapping. Number 5, Meg tipped the glass of milk. Meg tipping the glass of milk. Go ahead, take your finger and pretend circle your answer. Yeah, so you should have circled Meg tipped the glass of milk. Past tense, it's already happened. It already happened. It's not happening now. It already happened. Let's talk about how we make that word, though. We have tip. Tip ends with a vowel, our I, and then our consonant. So we double that consonant, write it again, and then we add ed for the past to get tipped. All right, second grade, we have 2 more that we're going to do. And it says, circle the words that have the correct ending. Write the words on the line. So we're talking about slipped, number 1. So let's go ahead. Let's write our root word, slip. I challenge you, number 1, I want you to get your finger out. I want you to pretend circle which one do you think it is. How do you think we spell slipped? I slipped down the stairs. Well, let's talk about it. We have vowel, then a consonant. So when we end a word with a vowel and a consonant, and we're trying to add ed or ing, we double that consonant and then add our ed or an ing, that ending, that inflectional ending. So we're adding that ed. So you should have circled this one. Let's look at number 2. We have camped. Camped. Let's write it. Now, get your phone. I want you to look at this one carefully. Look at the ending. I want you to get your finger and circle. Which one do you think it is? So it ends with a consonant and then a consonant. It does not end in a vowel consonant. So because of that, we don't have to double anything, right? We only double when we have that vowel and then that consonant. Here we have 2 consonants beside each other, so we just get to add an ed like regular. We don't have to do anything special with it. That was kind of a tricky one. I was trying to get in there to see if you would notice it. So remember, it has to have that vowel and then that consonant. If it doesn't, we can just add that ed. All right, second grade, that was awesome. Remember those 2 new rules that we just talked about when we're adding ed or ing. If we have a silent e, we want to drop it and then add our ed or ing. If we have a word and it ends with a vowel, then a consonant, we're going to double that consonant, so write another one, and then add our ending, that ed or ing ending. All right, guys, see you next time.